BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. So, welcome to this other appointment with 15 minutes of experience. Today I'm with Muchen Dong, a photographer born in Beijing, China, and live in New Jersey, and is moving actually also to New York, he said to me, but let's see what he has to say today to us.
Hi, thank you, Emiliano, for the introduction, and really appreciate you inviting me onto this podcast. Like you mentioned, I was born and raised in Beijing, came to the United States when I was 18. I'm living in New Jersey now, shooting in New York City primarily. I really didn't become serious about photography until the beginning of last year, before the pandemic. I was always, surrounded by cameras growing up. I have just hundreds of thousands of photos and videos from my childhood. So that's actually one of my favorite things to do when I visit my parents, just to flip through our old family albums. But not until last year, I actually found the power of photography and really wanted to pursue it as a serious hobby. So that's where I'm at.
Seems like much more than a serious hobby. I mean, your pictures are so cool, and seems like you shoot for much more than 1 year.
Thank you, really appreciate it.
Yeah, so today you told me you wanted to talk to me about this picture you took in the 34th and 17th in New York City in this year, right?
34th and 7th Avenue, New York City. That's actually one of the busiest street corners in New York City. All the New York street photographers know that spot. It's definitely one of the go-to spots in New York City. So the reason I wanted to talk to you about that one was, first, it was one of the photos I'm really happy about, which I shot recently. I think it speaks to a lot of things I've been thinking about when it comes to photography. So just a little bit story behind this was, as I was just camping in that street corner and I saw him, he just stood out right away. He dressed up in suit and tie. He was, I guess, waiting for someone, or I have no idea why he was there, but he just looked so in the zone, like in his own world. He had his, headphones on, and he wasn't really interacting with other people. He was just standing there, and I really wanted to capture that moment, but I was a little shy to approach him, and I didn't want to ruin the moment. And then I saw there was a sign on the traffic light pole right next to him that says "No parking Sunday." So I thought maybe it's a good idea to try to photograph that sign next to him with the wide angle lens. I'm able to include him in the photo. So I went close, as you can see, very close to him. Luckily, he didn't react. He probably thought I was taking a photo of the sign, and it turned out to be a great photo that I'm really happy about. It was because, first of all, I captured him as how I saw him in the first place. So he didn't he didn't change. That's how I remember him. His facial expression, his body language. His hand was holding, you know, his bag, and the entire scene was just how I saw it. So I really like the photo, and also because to me this photo is very interesting because it just asks more questions than it actually resolves, which is one of the things I think makes a photo great. It's first of all, you don't know what actually happened. You don't know what he was thinking, and he, as you can see, he was just different than everyone in the background. You can see like people dressed differently, and most people had masks in the background, and he was just there, really standing out.
Yeah,
and
seems like he come from totally another world.
yes,
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
totally another
exactly.
century, totally, and he's in a movie. I mean, it's kind of when someone is a movie all in the head of himself, all in with himself. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, now it's starting to filming. You know, the camera starts to film, and I'm going on the stage. You know, it's totally, yeah. That's it's really powerful. It's totally powerful. It's a
Yes,
character,
thank you. Yeah,
totally powerful.
yeah. Your voice was cutting off a little bit. I don't know if it's my internet.
It's okay. I think we'll get recorded.
Happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is a problem of the line in general.
No.
And I
So
wanted to ask you also,
yeah.
what is the feeling you have with yourself when you go outside in the street shooting? I mean, what there is something you have in your mind usually, or just, I don't know, for example, if you have a habitude like just putting a earphone in your ear and listen music, or just you like to listen the sound of the street, or to stay there in this chaos or in the calm? There's something particular you can share with us?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I go, first of all, I just feel so great being out there and shooting. It brings me so much joy. It's one of the very few things that make me just like truly focus in the moment, not to worry about anything, not to think about anything. So when I'm out there shooting, I don't typically have any agenda in mind. I don't have any um, um, thoughts about like what I want to capture, or where I want to go. I just kind of let it happen. Sometimes I listen to music, but most of the time I listen to the street, follow where the sounds are, where the crowds are. I like to include people in my photographs. So New York City is just perfect for that. There's plenty of people, plenty of actions always going on. And the beauty of street photography, I guess, is every day you go out there, it's a different, the same street corner, but every time you go, it's different. You never know where you're gonna get around the corner.
Yeah,
So that's
it seems really like New York is the city of street photography, because it's in every photograph I see from people shooting the street in New York, there's always this totally differently magic situation that in Europe we don't have. I mean, yeah, I'm from Italy, and if you go to Rome, you know because you was in Rome, there is something like, but it's not the same. It's not the same chaos and balance there is in New York about crazy and normal people, and these passages of always different people. Here in Berlin is can be a bit like that. I mean, when before the COVID, the pandemic, so was a bit like this because there was more tourism, more people was coming to live here and go away at the same time. But yeah, this, I don't know. I think this is about also the light. The light is in New York is totally different from the light is in Europe.
Yeah, I was in Rome a couple months ago. I really loved it. I shot there too, not a lot, but as I was walking, it's beautiful there. Everywhere you go, it's around the corner. It's always a surprise. So I really.
I will suggest you to go in Naples. I'm come from Naples.
Oh, you're from Naples?
I mean,
Yeah.
I was born there, and I was living there for half of my life. And for the kind of photography you shoot, that I see, yeah, you are in the street. I mean, also with the people of the street. There are these crazy, lively people, and the child, and the young, the oldest. So your subject are always subject particular in a way, really particular. And I think you would love to stay in Naples. Is a bit dangerous, but in a way, as this magic of the character are totally unique.
I love to visit Naples. My wife has been there a couple of times. I love to visit next.
And I will ask you, especially about an experience. Do you have? I mean, in general, you shoot with film, right? It's a film photography.
Yes, I started with digital actually, and just a few months ago I switched to film.
So then
Just
you,
tried.
so then usually just you shoot a picture, and then yeah, you will never know what you got for real.
Right.
And what I see here on Instagram, it's I think totally is your selection, and it's really interesting. And what I ask myself is, I will love. This is for sure we can say a final selection. It's really not a selection, as many differences also in the storytelling. So I will be really curious to know if you shoot instead of also the people in the street, if you also shoot some background, landscape, texture. I don't know. I like, for example, to shoot the food smashed in the street. I really like.
Yeah.
And for me, these are in general in the storyline are comma and point, to step from a picture to another, from a story to another. And I wanted to ask you if you have also this, and probably we can see that in the future in a possible book, or you are going just straight to catching the people, so hunting the street and the people.
That's a great question. I not only shoot people, also shoot landscape and objects on the streets. I think even though I shoot primarily with people included in the photo, I'm also interested in shapes, because when it comes to landscape and to me, the objects on the streets, it's, even though there's no human in the photos, but it shows that there's humanity in the photo. And even with landscape, I think when I see a lot of landscape photographies, I can see even without a human, but you can actually see humanity in it. So I find it very fascinating.
Last question, then our 50 minutes are done. So they are really fast. What is something really gave value inside of your life from the moment you started to take the camera in the hand and go shooting? Something really changed inside of your life, and now you can see, now I see this light I had not in my life before.
Absolutely. I think it totally changed the way I see this world. After I started pursuing photography, I feel like my vision has changed. Like when I look at things, I'm looking at it a lot of times photographically now. I'm actually trying to train my eyes when I go with my life, even when I'm not shooting. When I'm looking around, I'm trying to see whether this will make a good photo. And also just it really makes me appreciate the little things in life. Like I think I'm able to see like the beauties in a lot of mundane things now, and I give all the credits to photography, and also it just opened up really my eyes to other type of arts. I'm not only looking at photography, I'm also going to galleries and museums to look at arts and you know and music too. I think they all are connected, and
Yeah, totally. I think too.
yeah, and just I think it's very powerful to me because I'm seeing photography as a way to communicate. At least for me, I think I really see it as a powerful tool, and I want to continue to practice and learn more.
Yeah, I hope to see. I hope to
It
see more
fascinates me.
for sure. I hope to see more for sure from
Thank you.
your picture, because if this is the result of 1 year, I cannot imagine what happened in 10 years.
Thank you. That's really my goal, is to just make this a long-term project, to pursue it as a lifetime goal, to just stay curious and keep making keep creating.
Yeah, sure. What we can say about photography is for sure a tool need time, also because when past the time you start to see your picture, probably picture you will never select in your life, you start to see not only the beauty but the details you was not able to see before.
Yes.
And this is the powerful is as no time. We are really in the time, and we are fighting with the time in photography to don't have the time after have these pictures.
Yes. The ability to freeze time and space is just a gift. It's really a gift.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So I thank you a lot, and for people are listening us, you can follow Muchen on Instagram at username looking for as number 4 mu. So in any case, is in description here on this podcast, and xie xie. Thank you a lot. I say in Chinese
谢谢.
also. And I hope to have another podcast with you. Then we talk about other experience you can do it during the next weeks and months. And thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And I'd love to know more about you and your work too.
Yeah, totally. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer, or visit our Instagram and follow BerlinExplorer project.